people are really wicked, and I was really forced to put on a ring light and do this video. And I don't really care whatever the outcome of this is, but I'm gonna put this out there. Like, how can Pamela? No, nobody's wicked. Like, so last week I was having a study and I found something really incredible. I thought I just wanted to share, right? So let's say I have a friend. Let's give her name Mrs. A, and then my friend, has been married for like 5 years, and she's been trying to have a child, and she has tried an IVF, and we're having a conversation, and I say, and I said, I have been really to have tried my best, like, do you know how it feels to have failed IVF? To failed IVF, it almost broke me. I'm like, okay, so what is your SOF? And she's looking at me like, what is SOF? Now, the first thing she has been telling me, every single thing she has been telling me, is our first SOF, and that is the statement of fact. So in shipping, there's a document called the statement of fact. Usually, it's a record of the progression of the whole loading activity, the vessel operations while the vessel is loading until the completion of the vessel and the departure, right? That's basically what an SOF is. So you get to see all the report about this while the vessel is loading. All the important information when the vessel starts loading, when it stops, if there's a weather interruption, every single thing. Now, the SOF in this contest for Mrs. A is, I do not have a child and I've been trying to have a child. That is a SOF. So let's say I want to, my business that I've been running is not giving the kind of profit I want. I said my business is not working. That is like my SOF. But the other SOF that we tend not to pay attention to is the important SOF. So that is the statement of faith. Your SOF, your statement of fact, is the present reality that you don't want. Now, there is every time there is an SOF that is not a reflection of the reality that you want, then you must immediately go and look for an SOF that is the statement of faith. And what is the statement of faith actually? So usually the bridge between the first SOF and the latter SOF as a statement of faith is the word. So the first thing is to look for the word that states exactly the reality that you want to experience, not the one that you are presently experiencing that you don't want. So your expected reality, that is your statement of faith. And what do, you go to the scriptures. Now, when I asked my friend, Mrs. A, what your SOF is, she should be telling me something like, my statement of fact is I don't have a child and I've tried IVF twice. But my statement of faith is there shall be no barren woman in Israel. And that's on period. And that's it. There shall be no barren woman in Israel. And that is a statement of faith. But then the bridge, which is the word right now, and you already found the bridge. Now, between the statement of fact and the statement of faith, there's a gap that needs to be closed. So there's a vehicle that moves you from the statement of fact to the statement of faith. Now, there are about 4 vehicles that is used in our kingdom. I don't know about your kingdom. I don't know how you can use intellect, you can use anything, you can use network. But when it comes to our kingdom things, my father thing, there are 4 major vehicles that he uses. There is the vehicle of timing. There is the vehicle of purpose and alignment. There is the vehicle of prayer and fasting. There is the vehicle of voices. So I'm just going to try and quickly go through that. Now, the vehicle of timing, see, when there is something we want and we don't have what it takes to enjoy it and to maximize it, we don't have it. What it does is to put us in the vehicle of timing. You haven't learned what it takes to enjoy it, or we have not become who we should become that will enable us to maximize and enjoy what we want. Or some other time, because that thing you want itself is not ready. It will still take a time that will make it actually beautiful. That's why the Bible actually says it makes things beautiful in its time. His standard is if he's doing it, if he's going to be involved, then it's going to be beautiful. He is not going to put his name on what is not beautiful. And if it's going to be beautiful, then it has to be in his time. So sometimes when we want something and we're asking God, we want to move from the statement of fact to the statement of faith, all he does is to just put us in the vehicle of timing. My dear, if you like, complain from now to tomorrow until the time comes and you have picked every single lesson that should be learned in the process. You aren't going anywhere. Like, I know it's hard, but that's the truth. So the best thing to do is to just cooperate with him. When he's bringing lessons that will help you to pick out the virtues that are required, that will help us to become who he wants us to become, to be able to maximize and harness what we want, then grab it so that we don't slow him down and it takes longer time. All right. So another thing he uses is the vehicle of purpose and alignment. There are times we ask for things, we want something, we have identified the statement of faith, but we don't even know why we want it. Or the reason we want it is just something ephemeral, something that is not really worth it, something is not worth its involvement. Like, you can just go use your intellect to have it, but if it's going to be involved, it's going to be something that will add some value to you and add value to the kingdom. So if we are at the point where we have not identified the purpose for what we are seeking for, oh, I want a kingdom home, oh, I want a home, but he's saying no, it's a kingdom home. Now, so if I have not if I have not learned that this is the purpose for it, it should be a kingdom home. It should expand the kingdom. People should look at me and my husband and say, oh wow, I want to have a home like that. And somebody wants to have a godly relationship because they just look at my life. If I haven't gotten to that point and I am ready, we can actually not manipulate God. So what he does is to just put us in the vehicle of purpose and alignment. So until you know why, until you see the essence of what you're asking me, then you are ready to get it, right? Yeah. Then another thing is he uses the vehicle of prayer and fasting. Sometimes this kind does not go but with prayer and fasting. Sometimes all you need to do is to just pray it. There are times there are just strange flows and you realize one strange trend in your family and the like. And all you need to do is to just pray and fast. And that's it. And that closes the gap between the SOF, the statement of fact, and the SOF, the statement of faith. And all the times then it takes us to through the vehicle. It uses the vehicle of voices. Voices can be three. It can be the voice of God, it can be the voice of men, and it can be the voice of nature. When it's the voice of God, it's just an instruction that we have to obey, and voila, we have it. I remember there was a time like over a decade, I wanted to get something, and I didn't have the finance for it, and I just read like, oh God, if I could just get this thing, and then he gave me an instruction, and I started following the instruction, and like a day to the time I really needed that thing, somebody called and said, oh, I've been around, I've been in the country, and you didn't even come to greet me. I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, sir. Then I went to greet him, and we were just talking generally. I didn't even talk or mention about that thing, and he just went in and said, you know what, just hold on a bit, and just went in and brought out what I needed. And the most amazing part is the fact that he got me the exact brand I wanted. And that was all that I needed to close the gap between the SOF and the SOF was just an instruction, that the voice of God. Sometimes the voice of men, people are telling you, consider this thing now, do this. See, I met this person, do this. People are saying things. You don't just disregard people's counsel. It could just be that the vehicle you need to close that gap is just the voice of men. And sometimes the voice of nature. You are having random conversation in the office, and people keep highlighting the same thing every time. You are walking and something happened, and it's just the same thing you keep saying. You're strolling on your phone, and this particular content, it just aligns with one thing that has been coming over and over again. Pay attention to it, because it could just be that the vehicle that you need is the vehicle of the voice of nature, and that's it, and you have your statement of faith. So every time there is an SOF, a statement of fact, that you don't want, that doesn't align with the expected reality that you want, what do? You look for an SOF, another SOF that is the statement of faith. And how do you get it? You go to the word. Look for the word that addresses it and make it on a period. Okay. And then pay attention to which vehicle is going to use to move you from the statement of fact to the statement of faith. Back to the gist of the wicked people. There's no wicked people.